Yes, sir.
Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are here to do some podcasting early in the morning, 8 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah, we bright and early this morning. Roger woke me up, said we was doing some pancake workout. I was like, pancake workout?
I said we go to the pancake gym.
That's right, pancake gym.
But I really just meant go get breakfast. And it was like, since we're already up, let's do it. I got stuff to do today. I do got to go to the real gym. And we're supposed to go to the Ball Brothers. Kev on stage is in town, so we're supposed to go see that. So it's like, since I have things planned, might as well get an early start. I'm already up, so that's why we're doing it so early. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
A bullet ball, extreme. And today's a feedback show, so it's all about what you guys wrote in to say about what we had to say about all that stuff. So like, we, this is really a show for y'all. So that's what we're gonna get into. The first thing we do though is we like to shout out people that went to the blackouttips.com, looked on the right hand side and decided, hey, I would like to give you guys a little bit of money. Okay, I like to give y'all some change. And what do they get for that? A shout out. That's what we're about to do.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day.
That's right. New denominations, new salutations. All right, Adam S. Thank you for the recurring donation, Adam. We appreciate you. Mariano, recurring donator, of course. Preston, Team Dro from the Slang of Ages podcast, which we were guest on back in the day. Lawrence C. Zachary from the Living Corporate podcast, which I've also been on. I don't know if Karen's been on by herself or not, but
I don't remember.
I know I've been on there. It's been fun. Ken M, recurring donator. Jason F, appreciate you. And lastly, the Falcons Diva. Thank you so much. We appreciate all y'all for putting a little something in the collection plate.
We do.
All right, now everybody's new favorite thing. Will we get 5-star reviews or will you get an ad?
Right, it's up to y'all. Did they pass the test?
Drum roll. You will not get new ads because we got 5-star reviews.
All right, somebody understood the assignment this week.
We got 2 people that came in. Joe, the reviewer girl, said, never done one of these. Well, how you become the reviewer girl if you never did one? But interesting. Never done one of these. The way I ran on here when my Crowdcast notifications went off to add this, Rod and Karen are so funny. Just Ani. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last one is, if your reviews ain't 5 stars, then it ain't good.
It sure ain't good.
Said D Money.
Come on through.
331, who says 5 stars. I've been listening to Rod and Karen since I learned how to drive in 2018.
Oh,
I love the show and all the spin-offs. Well, shout out to you for learning how to drive.
Come on. I talk to a lot of parents. They be like, my baby don't want to learn how to drive.
Well, we don't know what age this person was when they learned to drive. They might not. They might have been young, but they might have been an older person that learned to drive. Some people live in cities where they have good public transportation and stuff like that.
It's not a requirement.
But congratulations either way. Learning to drive is a big deal.
It is.
Let's get right into the episodes. We did 3 this week. The first one was a feedback show. It was episode 3179. The 5-star reviews strike back. We had 8 comments. The first one is from Apia, who says, the talk about the definition of invasive species showed me again that this show is great. The definition of invasive species is something I think about often. Who decides it? And the decision would be for big regions. Is this okay when someone from outside decides that an animal is invasive? Interesting thought experiments are possible with it. If some experts can say this number of species is too many, what's their ideal? How much change can an ecosystem adjust to? Because some change is normal. Some percentage can be tolerated. How can this number grow? Stuff like that. And who talks about it? No one. So I thought that I'm alone with it. Rod does. That's right. I talk about it. I think about things. Sean says, hold himself back from writing a dissertation about the history and science behind invasive species, definitions, and the difference between natural invasive species versus human traffic invasive species. I mean, there are some times when the title is justified and sometimes when it's arbitrary. It seems especially wrong when a species is labeled invasive because it has an economic impact on an area. Here's an article about the removal of an invasive species, cats, and how their removal prevented the extinction of endangered species, red-headed wood pigeon. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, congrats on all that. I'm not gonna read it obviously, but it's just more of a passing thought. And watching that YouTube video was very like, I've never really thought about this before, but I'd argue that humanity is the ultimate invasive species,
right? And ain't nobody come plugging us up and be like, it's too many of y'all.
And I don't mean like the racist kind where it's like, I don't want these Mexicans in America. I just mean like, what tears up the earth more than us?
Right, the deer minding their business. That I would love to see. How I'm reading that comic Feral, how the cats are like minding their business.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they get rabies outbreak, which is kind of like a zombie outbreak to them. I wonder from like the animal perspective, like you a deer, and all of a sudden these big ass machines just come in and tear your shit up.
I feel like Dr. Seuss covered that with the Lorax.
Oh yes,
the Lorax was mad for a reason.
Yeah, he was pissed. Y'all come here cutting our damn trees down.
EVE says which is funny because I hear Dr. Seuss is racist, which makes him a different type of invasive species, but and what he defined as invasive, he makes you wonder. Anyway, EVE says, my love for Arby's doesn't impede my snitching. I have nothing to snitch on them about. They are upstanding company. Who cares? See, the gaslighting. This is the gaslighting I'm talking about. That's why I can't really truly ever trust you, EVE. Who cares where those steak bites come from? They could be kangaroo or monkey or even donkey meat. Steak doesn't necessarily mean cow. Yes, it does. It you know what they selling it as. That's not what the commercials say. It doesn't say steak bites, not necessarily cow.
It doesn't say kangaroo bites.
Is the roast beef then? I just want to know. It only pertains to the cut of meat. Now, would I eat those steak bites? Hell no, but I'm sure someone enjoys them. No, you're not. You're not sure. That's the point. None of us are sure anyone truly enjoys Arby's enough to make it as big as it is. That's the thing. Embezzling is embezzling, sis. And I'm going to always speak truth to power. In this platform, I'm never going to let y'all lie to me. We keeping it facts.
Yeah, and we tried them and they were not that great.
Arby's logo is that they have the meats. They never said what kind. They say what kind. No, they say what kind in every ad. They say what kind. They literally do. There's not a single ad where they don't say the exact kind of meats that they're selling you. It's roast beef. This is a fish sandwich. This is the new Arby's burger. Like, they are telling you it's the meat, what kind of meat. So listen, lies is just not gonna be tolerated. Not by me.
Not on your watch.
Appia says yes, but what if the pigeon is racist? Evie said, why did this make me laugh harder than it should have? Appy, I love whatever is wrong with you. No, I agree with her. What if the pigeon is racist? Classic R&B lover says, all I have to say is far too often progressive whites are not substantially different from white nationalists. They just have an issue or two that keeps them from voting Republican. The same holds true for libertarians. Appia says, I made a similar observation. In my observation, people who were super progressive sometimes turn right-wing fast because it was all about getting a reaction. Man, both of y'all spitting. Both of y'all spitting. I think when you see black people's and probably other people of color, but I'm choosing black because I'm black and this is what I've seen from my lived experience.
Right.
So I can't necessarily speak to other people because sometimes the model minority thing kicks in with certain cultures, and I can, and so they might cozy up to white progressiveness and white dreams of utopia in a way that I just probably can't.
Yep, I can't.
Maybe you could say my imagination is limited. I'd say it's informed, but whatever. My point is, there's this thing that happens with black people often. You hear it all the time where they're like, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal, I'm not a progressive. And if you examine their beliefs, you would find that they're probably more Democrat, more progressive, often, honestly, extremely mainstream Democrats. Like, if you were to actually clock where they are on most issues, they're more extremely moderate type of Democrats, then they would be like staunch liberal, burn it all down types and all that stuff. So I say all that to say, one of the reasons there's a reticence amongst black people about being labeled or seen as part of the Democratic coalition, I think, is specifically a reaction to progressive white people and their hang-ups about race that make you feel like, I don't think I could, if it came down to it, I think you would throw everything about black people and our causes out in the gutter.
Yes.
And that is informed by history. That is not just a feeling that we have. It's not irrational. It's happened several times before. The feminist movement, where they cast black women to the side to get suffrage. The Voting Rights Act stuff, the compromises that you see people making in the wake of losses, where it's like, oh, you know what happened? We went too woke. And it happens to all these categories, but like I said, I brought up blackness because that's the group I'm part of, and it's easy for me to see. But I'm sure that there's other LGBTQ people, there's Latino people, there's other people that feel this too, where it's like, oh man, when it comes down to it though, Ezra Klein puts my rights on the negotiating table in a way he would never put the things that he wants. Like he sees my shit as like a bonus, not a non-negotiable, whereas I see my rights as non-negotiable.
Ain't that the truth? And it's also something when you talk about people that, if, like you said, if you talk to them individually, and actually get down to the nitty gritty and the bolts, they, like you said, they're normally like a moderate Democrat. They're normally not burning it all down, and they're normally not straight up Republican.
Right.
But I also think that with the climate that we're in, and with social media and a lot of the pressures, and it's really easy to want to fall into groups and the cliques and be not trying to find influenced by online and shit like that, and not want to be considered an outsider. Because if you say it with your chest like I do, I'm a motherfucking Democrat, 10 toes down, bitch, you're not gonna change my motherfucking minds. I feel, it's just me, I feel like it's the same way I used to feel about feminism. Because we used to have all these talks about feminism, me and you just back and forth, people write in and stuff like that, and I bet I know I don't want it. And the biggest thing is, once you take on a quote unquote name or a title, you have to take on everything that goes along with it. And most people don't want to fight those battles. That if you say you're a Democrat, then all of a sudden, well, they ain't perfect, bitch. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like particularly if you spend a lot of time online, they're like, well, I don't want to fight with nobody. I just want to fucking vote and go about my way. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And a lot of times people do that, in my personal opinion, because a lot of people are very uninformed, and they just want to be neutral. They want to get along to get along. They want to feel special. They want to feel unique. They don't want to feel like that they're following the quote unquote pack, because everything in this country is individualization, and so if all of a sudden you're with a group, you can't stand out. You're not unique. You're not special anymore, and nobody wants to feel unspecial. And so, so I have to be a liberal. I have to be somebody that's not quote unquote not impacted, or I don't fall in the system. But bitch, you're in the system. Like, regardless of how you feel about things, our system is, we have two sides. And so earlier in my life, there used to be a quote unquote neutral part. You could be a liberal and it'd be okay. But now it's got so bad where there's no middle line, and a lot of people are in denial, and they're lying to themselves about it not being a middle line. Like, a lot of people, they still want to believe it's a middle line, and I'm like, no, bitch, it ain't a middle line. The other side wants me dead. Where is the middle line here? It used to didn't be like that. They used to want to run the government. No, I might not agree with everything they did, but bitch, they wanted the government to function. They cared about the citizens and shit like that. Like at one period of time, but now it's got to the point that now it's like they run on nothing but goddamn racism. Where is the line?
Yeah, and you have people thinking that there's some choice that we're not seeing, and we're the ones tripping. But I think this last Tuesday is proof that it's sad, because this is not a thing I want to be right about, but I don't see it any other way. Seeing so many states go blue this last Tuesday, seeing how deep the blue was in states where some of them already have these different maps, and it's starting to make the math questionable on the maps if it's going to give the Republicans the majorities they want, because all of a sudden it's not us, but there's some white folks who've been inconvenienced, who are suffering because the government is shut down, who are suffering because of layoffs, who are suffering because of benefits getting cut, who are suffering in many different ways. And the xenophobia and the racism that was promised and has been delivered on.
Yes, been delivered on.
It hasn't made your life better, has it? Like, okay, so they locking up people for ICE. Did you get a job or did you get laid off? Did your groceries go up in cost or did they go down in cost?
Right. Did your labor go up because all of a sudden these immigrants, they locking up, you don't have nobody to pick your fruit?
So all of a sudden, here come white folks voting blue a little bit. And the thing I have to point out, because you have to be careful about this, while I'm enthusiastic and excited about the wins, be careful with the reasoning you lay at the feet of these wins, because I think we made this mistake as a country many times. It's a cycle. It's happened dozens of times in America. Every time white folks go blue, we do the racism is over, they learned a lesson, they would never do this again.
It's not true.
And I consistently, like I said, I don't feel great being right about this, but I think I'm right. If I'm wrong, someone pull some data, but
suffering.
I don't see their social stances changing. I see them suffering and going, well, this ain't it.
Yup.
Like, it didn't matter that Kamala told them this wasn't it. It didn't matter that you and I said it wasn't it. It didn't matter. The truth just didn't matter. It didn't matter that Kamala ran on the economy and not on trans issues. None of that stuff matters to people. How people felt mattered. They wanted to say the R word. They wanted to make their kids not feel bad about learning about Black history in class and stuff. So somehow we ended up here. And the same way I will not do they voted for Obama twice. How could white people be racist? I won't give them anything for these wins, because I feel like these wins are just you saving yourself.
Yep.
Which, honestly, me too, bitch.
Right, everybody's doing it.
That's what we've been trying to tell y'all. Shout out to Sonequa Martin Green. I am trying to save you, when she was Michael Burnham on Star Trek Discovery. She said, I'm trying to save you, and that's what we say to the electorate. All right, YouTube. Erica says, been listening to Rod and Karen on KATG for years. Fairly new to the Blackout Tips. Gotta say, Karen was absolutely on fire this episode. Very fun.
Oh, thank you. Welcome, baby. We love Keith.
Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal. Provocative AF says, yo, great show, Rod and Karen. Rod, you are so on point when you talked about Black celebrities at HBCUs. Damn, you hit the nail on the head. Thanks, man, because that's a nuanced point, and I know it ain't for everybody. I'm sure there's a lot of people whose eyes glazed over. They just went, this is not Blackness 101.
Right.
What the activists get paid on Twitter to do. Like, this is like this is like advanced blackness. It's like, this is my exact problem with this situation, and it's not necessarily one that I expect people who either don't understand HBCUs or didn't go to one to really understand why it troubles me to see the hustle certain people turn HBCUs into, while also refusing to live a life that does anything to really uplift Black people in a substantial way, or when they start talking about their politics, it's anti-Black, and you're like, so who gives a fuck that you went to Hampton if you're gonna get up here and tell everybody to capitulate to Trump?
Right. While he's cutting their funding.
Right. Karen, you are lit. You're so awesome. I love all your takes. Rod is dope, but sis, you are the raw, uncut part of it. Yes. Y'all getting it. Y'all get the show. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Alicia Nicole says, Rod, I want to write in about how Karen stay ruining your jokes, but I was afraid I'd get cussed out by your listeners because we know who the star of the show is. Be so funny. It'd be so funny, though. Thank you. She does do that.
It's the way my brain, like I said, the way his brain tick. It's literally the way my brain tick. Sometimes I'm like, okay, and then sometimes my brain says, wait a minute.
I'm okay. It's life happens. My only problem is that when I do it, it's a fucking somebody somewhere writing in, Rod, you ruined the joke. Okay. Damn, I'm doing a lot. I don't always get it right. And then
how dare you cut the queen's joke?
Then when it happens to me, it's funny. Oh yeah, so hilarious. Christoph says, I said taser too. Ramsey PH Dunn says, I went into Arby's 2 weeks ago because my brother wanted to try steak nuggets. He loved them. Get a new brother, sis. It's not as expensive as you think. That one's broken. Take it back to the shop.
Was the chewiest ass.
Put your brother in rice. Let me guess. Your brother likes his steaks well done, doesn't he? Like a true Negro. Like a true Negro. He likes them. He likes his steaks tough. You want a hockey puck steak.
Smothered in A1, a Heinz 57.
Yeah. That's the only way you like them nuggets. Anyway.
Like that real nuggets.
The poll was, do you have pierced nipples? I was thinking about Andrew Cuomo. Yes or no? 10% yes, 90% no. Shout out to the 10%. We appreciate y'all.
We do.
Nipple piercings is such a like attention but not attention thing, you know, because it's like when people have them in a noticeable fashion, it kind of is like, look at these titties, but then you kind of like your mind is like, well, that's wrong to look at titties. And
like I'm actually looking at the
I feel confused. I have to look directly into the eyes, into their soul. I don't want anyone thinking I'm some type of weirdo,
right? A creep or something. When I go, what kind of ring is that?
But there's no way they didn't leave the house like, boy, these titties is titty in the day. They gonna get these nipple rings.
Yeah, they gonna get them all in there. Like they did it for that purpose.
Like I mean, I get, you know, it's like I guess if someone has cigarettes in their shirt pocket, I'd look at the shirt pocket. You know, I would stare at it, but. When it's nipple rings, it's almost like you can't stop yourself. It's like I'm staring at I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
It's awkward for both of us.
My eyes gravitate to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's play our first commercial since we, didn't have one early.
Yay!
We'll be right back. I hit the wrong button. I hit the stop recording button for the audio. My bad. So anyway, next episode is 3180, Jon Stewart's Uncle Problem. And I just want to say, I feel like this was a very clever title that I came up with, because Jon Stewart has a podcast or a TV show, I think maybe, but it's called The Problem with Jon Stewart. So you see what I'm saying, y'all? Jon Stewart's Uncle Problem was like a different, anyway. 6 comments. Appia says, I'm not carrying any swords on my real estate walk. So far, so good. All right, thanks for keeping us posted. Classic R&B lover says, like many people currently on government assistance, I was on it for about 1.5 years as a child. When my mother was between jobs, she went on assistance to get food stamps to feed us and Medicaid because I needed to have a root canal, and Medicaid provides that plus glasses. I will never get into the welfare debate or a way of life or a hand up. I do, however, do know that when I needed it, government assistance prevented me from going hungry, possibly going blind, and having to live through excruciating mouth pain. I will never support anyone who thinks children, the elderly, the disabled, etc. should be punished. Whether people know it or not, everyone is on government assistance. Garbage pickup, all forms of transportation, the food we eat, public schools, community colleges, etc. are all subsidized by the government. In fact, most of the hardcore no welfare red states are welfare states because their contributions to the government coffers lags significantly behind what they get from other states to enable them to function.
Right.
As much as states like NY and California, etc., need to challenge gerrymandering, they need to publicly take back all the money they contribute to the federal government that the Orange Nightmare is taking from their residents by refusing to cover basic governmental operations. I say show them what states' rights can look like. Change the conversation on what truly constitutes the haves and have-nots. Alas, I doubt any state has the backbone to get down and dirty with them like that. Yeah, and here's the thing too, man, because I think that's super important. Like, this thing had kind of bothered me earlier this week. I posted, without much of a comment, but I posted this article about Charlemagne saying that Democrats basically need to cave and just open the government again. You're not gonna get anything from the Republicans. Just give up. Fuck the people that you're fighting for. You lost, and it is what it is, basically. And I said, I think my comment was an op, because I think Leonard is an op. And the reason that I said that was not necessarily pertaining to the strategy of it. I'm not a prideful person. I don't think politicians really get to be prideful. So it's not like I just want the Democrats to prove them wrong. I don't care who gets hurt. That's not what I'm saying. I think that dude's an op because I think he argues about why people don't support Democrats, why they don't want to vote for them. He calls them weak. He says their messaging is bad. This is actually a situation where their messaging has been very consistent, where the people who support them have been advocating for them to take this stand, where Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries actually caught a lot more flack early on for saying that they were going to just do whatever it took to keep the government open. When this happened earlier and Schumer did it, he took a huge hit for that, and people were like, he needs to step down and resign. So this argument that it would be seen as positive, or there would be no political cost, or that it would even galvanize the base out of support, is a lie. And what this person said, and I don't want to denigrate them, because I like this person. I think they be making good points and stuff, and I think what they're saying is valid. But it was essentially like easy to call him a coon when you're not one of the people worried about the benefits of this government or whatever is happening, right? And I'm not gonna argue with the person, because I feel like that's a personal thing that they're probably going through when people say stuff like that.
Yes.
A lot of people have been laid off. They can't pay their bills. This is the longest government shutdown we've had since the last government shutdown under Trump. This is real. This is not theory. This is not, when I get on this microphone, I'm not up here to debate devil's advocate shit. This is not I'm not trying to score points. I think this is real life shit, and I think the Democrats capitulating and getting nothing is just as bad as it'll be worse than holding out to get people health care or whatever. The reason I say that, because I asked, when you're saying people aren't impacted, what do you mean? Because we're not all impacted the same.
No, we're not.
Let's get that out of the way, right? Some people are going to be hurt. Government workers are hurt way worse right now. People on SNAP benefits are hurt way worse right now.
Yes.
But let's talk about impacted. We live in Charlotte, hub of banking, a hub of airports. 10% of the flights shut down, I think, come Monday, because the government they're not going to pay the people that work at the FAA to cover all this shit.
Right.
Obviously insurance premiums for all of us. That ain't I tell y'all all the time on this show, I see every every day we lose subscribers every single day because there's people that work in the government, there's people that just got laid off. They can't afford to be a premium person. We lose that money every day. like I don't sit up here and complain about it because I think honestly I try to be grateful for just the fact that we're even able to do this at all.
Right.
And we're gonna do this as long as we can.
Agreed.
But I understand we're a luxury. We're not a need for a lot of people. That's totally understandable. But yeah, people write us. They'll so, you know, bless their hearts. They don't need to do this, but they'll write us to be like, Rod, Karen, I can't afford
explain.
this. I'm gonna come back when I can. And I'm like, you don't gotta explain anything.
No, you don't, baby.
This shit is fucked up. When you say not impacted, the price of these groceries,
Yes, price of gas,
housing, all this stuff, like all of this stuff is impacting people. It's just different.
tariffs.
What I won't do is give Charlemagne credit as if that's what he's talking about, because that's not. It's like helping that scorpion cross the river. You can make the same point and leave Charlemagne out of it because he is a coon. He is a sellout. That doesn't have anything to do with. That's not me choosing this one comment to go, well, that makes him a coon. He wants the Democrats to cave. No, I'm talking about a history of cooning. A history of rhetoric that has been anti-black. Like, just because he's reformed his image some days and then other days he backslides, you can fall for it if you want to, but it's bigger than just this one thing. So I say all that to say, like, yeah, this shit is real and everybody benefits from some level of government assistance. I put the poll as, have you ever used a government assistance program? And we'll get to the results in a bit, but I put that on there on purpose because I think what happens is once you start to think about it, you start realizing like, shit, yeah. Oh yeah, unemployment. Oh yeah, Medicaid. Oh yeah, Medicare. Oh yeah, SNAP benefits, food stamps. Like if you ever lived in the projects, all kinds of stuff, community college. Like there's so many ways that you've been benefiting from the government. So shutting it down affects everything. It just affects so many more people than it affects everybody. And if you don't think it affects you, more than likely you just didn't take the time to think about it.
Yeah, and also before you go on, I want to add a few things. And the thing is, when you ask that question, I will put knowingly, because there are a lot of people, because their parents protected and sheltered them as the children. There are a lot of people who went through their whole lives, and if you ask them, they will say that they never had government assistance. But if you ask their parents and people around them, they will tell you, yeah, we had this, that, and the other. But they never told the children. So you have some people that are under the delusion. I'm just keeping it real because of the protection of the parents protecting the children, and the children too young to understand that they had some form of government assistance at some period in their lives. You just don't know. So when somebody asking you, as far as you're concerned, you're telling the truth, but in reality it's not the truth because you don't know. You never asked. You never because for most children, the things that happen around them, particularly when they're young, is normal. However your family function is normal. So in your mind, no, you were never quote unquote homeless. You were never house hopping. You were always fed. You always had clothes and shoes and all these other things. But you really don't know the things that your parents had to sacrifice, or whoever took care of you or go through. And because for some people, because of America, using these things are quote unquote shameful and embarrassing, and you don't want people to know that you own these things, quote unquote, because it's ass backwards. People go, well, pull yourself up by the bootstrap. You go, well, I don't have a bootstrap. And then they go, well, I don't know what to tell you to do, and then you go get on government assistance. Or you're on government assistance. Yeah, because I need it, bitch. And in fact, every time I get motherfucking paid, it is deducted out of my paycheck. So my thing is use the services, because they gonna take it out regardless of if you use it or not, bitch. And so, but because we go, hey, don't use the assistance that you paid in, because we're gonna shame you, even though you need the assistance. So what, now I got to go hungry, now I got to go without, now I got to go lacking in the system that I paid for? It doesn't make sense. And also about the government shutdown, I've talked to family members. A lot of people don't even really understand what it's about. Like, they just go shit not functioning. They just go shit not running. Like they kind of got an idea, but some people actually don't really listen. They just go, well, I don't have these services and this not running. And snaps, they cut this. Like, they understand shit not running, but they don't really understand like why Democrats are just steady. And a lot of them also don't really understand that if the Republicans want this shit to run, all they had to do was pass the vote and run it. Like they don't understand. Not trying to funny that.
Well, you know, that's the thing. I hate to be a dick, but this how you gonna learn. Yes, it is. We're paying for our ignorance. People that let Republicans be in charge, people that didn't vote, people that aren't informed on issues. This is sadly how you get informed from this level of suffering. Mm-hmm. And you go, well, how did this happen? Right. When your flight gets canceled and you go, what the fuck? Like that, I had that flight booked for Thanksgiving 6 months ago, and now they're telling me I can't fly. What the fuck is happening? That's how you're gonna end up learning. I hate that. I like no, like that's why I said this ain't no gleeful party. This ain't no light ribbing. I like Charlemagne's comments were Democrats, your fault. It seems like you lost the fight. At this point, you know, go on and give it up. At least give the people some relief by getting the government back open. Let these people get these SNAP benefits. Let these government workers get their checks. We don't need all this craziness at the TSA during holidays. Like, I think you lost. I feel like they lost. It's over. Here, this is the same guy that would shit on Kamala Harris, and then when she does her book like tour, go take a picture with her. This is the guy who wasn't speaking out against Trump much until Trump said some shit to him. And then it was like, oh, nah, now I'm a roast Trump. This motherfucker just cares about flying during Thanksgiving, it sounds like. I don't need all this craziness at TSA during holidays. So at no point are they going to do an in-depth discussion on that show and be like, okay, so what happens if Democrats, quote unquote, give it up? Yep. What happened? What are we losing? What are Republicans passing and what are we losing? No one's going to talk about that. So what ultimately, because like I said, this person's a federal employee and I know they do good work. They help people. It's what happens if, okay, sure, part of us opening the government, the deals that the Republicans want to make is cutting your job. Yes, so it's not just this is a temporary government. You don't have a job. They're firing government employees during this, what they're not supposed to do. Is being challenged in court by Democrat AGs and shit. Yeah, it's being challenged in court, but they're already doing shit to make sure you don't get what you're supposed to get anyway. So this is the suffering that didn't have to happen that is happening, and it reminds me of all that. Michael says, I can't stand Jon Stewart. There's such a difference between sharing the Thanksgiving table in the privacy of his family's home with his shitty uncle and going on air to kiki with Bill O'Reilly and turning that into some moral cause. There's a conversation white people need to have about what to do with our Trump voting family and friends, because some of them might be able to be reached, and I wouldn't want to radicalize those people by isolating them, but there's also a whole bunch like Bill O'Reilly who will never change, who are just pieces of shit. And while I could walk away from my shitty family members like that, including my parents, I understand that shit is hard and not everyone's going to do that. Right. And to be honest, I had a lot more reasons for going no contact than just how they vote. Having no empathy is why they're Republican, but it also influences how they treat people, you know? Anyway, I came to say that there's a kernel of a real issue Jon Stewart could choose to talk about, but instead he's platforming Bill O'Reilly and trying to make himself feel better about being in touch with his piece of shit uncle instead of keeping his mouth shut and doing it in the privacy of his home. Right. Agreed. We didn't ask for that. Because that's the part every person knows that's relatable. Meaning the idea of having, like, I'm black. I don't go to Thanksgiving and everybody's on the same page about all the issues. That's everyone knows what he's talking about. That is completely different from me having that uncle who is like homophobic and being like, well, yeah, he my uncle, so he'll be on the podcast on a regular interval now, guys, and I'm sorry you're just gonna have to deal with his opinions because he's my uncle. No, my platform is different than my kitchen table, and you're not giving us a kitchen table at the Daily Show. You're giving us content, and so who you choose to put on that content with is part of the message. So yes, your idea of I need to be around these people is That's a selfish thing for you that you try to turn into us being dicks. Now, the other thing I want to say about this, which I thought of later, but it's super important. Jon Stewart's love for his uncle is not changing his uncle.
No.
That is the myth that we have allowed to fester, and it is killing us all. It is this ultimate faith and belief that there is not a stagnation in these folks, and that they are not choosing this willingly, and they can just be educated or loved out of it.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, you're taking away their agency. They believe this.
Yes, they do.
They choose it over and over. If your uncle was with Trump in 2016, lived to 2025 or 2024 and chose Trump again, that wasn't a mistake that he made. There's nothing you have ever said to him at that Thanksgiving dinner table. He doesn't respect your work. He doesn't respect your messaging. He doesn't respect your platforms. It doesn't matter if you have Bill O'Reilly on your show or not. He doesn't really feel like what you say has any merit. And the pumpkin pie you're sharing with him ain't changing him, homie. But what it is doing is changing you. It's changing America. It's making us compromised. Because when we go to battle with these folks in the voting booth, in the ideological warfare of just life, when we have to sit up here on these platforms and tell people like this is how things should be, you got to pull up short. You can't go all the way to the end zone. You got to kick the field goal, because you got to stop and go, I don't want to score a touchdown on my uncle. I want to put your uncle in the ground. I want to put him out of the game. I want to see your uncle's leg bend the wrong way. Understand? I want to see him get the CTE. I want him carted off the field. Yeah. Your uncle ain't my uncle. I don't got to love him. Your uncle ain't never loved me. If anything, his policies and the things he's willing to do say he hate me.
Yeah, they do.
And you want me to cry for you. You want me to think you a hero because you holding hands with this man. Nothing could be further from the fucking truth. And I'm not hypocritical about it, because I think there's our black people out there that's very hypocritical about this. And they won't like what I have to say, but fuck it. That's your shit to deal with. I try not to tolerate this shit from anybody. Right. Meaning, I know people that try to carve out some sort of exception for like Louis Farrakhan. Well, you got to understand. I don't either. I don't have to understand. I think that's a compromise that puts you in a bad situation when you try to tell white folks they need to have some type of zero tolerance, and then you go kick it with the minister and be like, nah, what? Y'all gotta understand what he's done. That's what they be saying.
Right.
Like, and once again, if it was your private Thanksgiving table, I wouldn't give a fuck. If you privately be like, man, that's the homie, and yeah, it's complicated. But now you using your political platforms and endorsing that man, or having him endorse you, it says something about you and the stuff you say you claim to stand for. And it gives permission to other folks to go, okay, so we don't have to stand for the shit all the time.
Right.
So what's wrong with sometimes being like, yeah, I got the racist homie and he coming on here with me and we're going to disagree, agree to disagree. Nah, man. Sometimes you just got to take a stand and be like, that shit is wrong. And if you're not willing to do that, then who gives a fuck? Because if you're not willing to like say, I shouldn't praise the fact that I can kick it with my uncle, which I think is a low bar, nigga. I'm not asking for a lot. But if you can't say, you know what, I got a racist uncle and that's not anyone's business, I'm gonna just leave that private.
Everybody got fucked up family members and keep it trucking.
Like, I'm cool, but you tried to turn it into a badge of honor, and I have no respect for that, man. So
and like I told you, that message was not for us. That message was fellow white people to let them know and let them understand.
Get off my back.
That it's okay. Like, literally, people have probably been in his ass, so he was like, well, let me go make a statement to let these white liberals who've been on my ass know. But baby, and when he said, I was like, oh, this, like, sometimes when white people make messages, I got to understand this. I am not. He's not talking to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, his uncle ain't got shit to do with me. So for me,
we weren't even a thought in Jon Stewart's mind.
Of course not.
Not a black person wasn't even a thought in his mind.
Right, because we're not gonna be there eating dinner with y'all.
The idea of us sitting at a table and him saying that to my black ass would never happen in his mind. You know, like as a person who wrote for TV, like late night, I was honored and privileged to write for possibly the last late night black hosted TV show. Hopefully not the last, but possibly the last. And the privilege of that was I never had to work for a Bill Maher who would say something racially abhorrent to me, but I needed that check.
Right.
I never had to write for Jon Stewart, who you see what happened with him and Wyatt Cenac, and you're like, man, that must have really sucked for Wyatt, because he had an existential moment. He, walked outside and cried over that shit because he couldn't nail that man in his face or whatever, or he knew the hierarchy there, and you gotta quote unquote make peace. Right. You don't have a choice. You if one of y'all gotta go, it's gonna 100% be you.
Right.
And I'm glad I never had to deal with that, because I don't know, it would have drove me crazy to sit up there and have to write for a person that has no moral clarity to me, that comes up short in a such an egregious way. Let's see. Nature Boy says, you nailed it. Jon Stewart represents a significant portion of white people who view racism as a minor flaw instead of a major moral failure. I understand that your racist uncle is your homie, but his attitudes don't stay at the door, and it weighs more and has heavier consequences in the real world than any dining room table. Let me say also, I think I said it during the show, but I just want to reiterate, he never says his uncle is racist. He says he's to the right of Attila the Hun, and I think that comedic cop-out is there on purpose, meaning Jon Stewart knows if he sat in that room and actually said what his uncle's beliefs were without a joke, people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
No, it's actually not funny, and no, it's not cute, and no, it doesn't make you sound morally brave. If he sat down there and said, listen, my uncle, he doesn't believe Black Lives Matter. He thinks people should be, ICE is doing a good job. They should be locking people up with masks and shit. My uncle
voted for Donald Trump twice.
My uncle thinks women should not have the right to choice. Right. My uncle thinks it's okay that Donald Trump is a rapist and pedophile and allegedly. He's okay with all that stuff. My uncle is like, if he had to say that, oh, listen, my uncle is like, fuck Gaza. Okay? Like, that's my uncle and I love him. Now we cooking, because you ain't want to say that, because those are real issues. To the right of Attila the Hun could mean anything to people.
Yes, it could.
But say what your uncle really supports.
I agree.
And then tell me how brave you are that y'all can eat custard. Tell me how I am the weak one for not wanting to go to your house, nigga. EVE says Jon Stewart is a coward who is saying this to go along to get along bullshit because he's afraid that he'll be kicked off the air like Jimmy Kimmel was. But he probably wouldn't have the same support as Kimmel. I get that it's hard to cut off MAGA relatives, but I don't need a lecture about it. Love your MAGA relatives if you want, but don't preach to me about getting along with people who don't recognize my humanity. Yeah, man. I've told this joke on here, not joke, story. This has really happened. This not a joke. I told this story on here many times, but I'll try to tell it a little quicker this time. But when I had white friends, we would kick it sometimes, and you kick it, people drink, you talk, share stories, 99% of the time it's fine, but then there's that 1% of the time that every black person who's ever been in a group where they're one of the only, if not the only black person, you have these conversations when you're like, ugh, this is white people shit that don't really understand me or my culture, so they're fucking up in ways they don't even know they're fucking up. And now I have to choose. Am I gonna be the fucking party pooper? Right. Or am I gonna pretend that this shit is okay, but I know it's not? Do I take in this trauma, or do I dish it out? Like, what do I do? And the story was, I won't say the guy's name, but he's talking about his grandpa, who's like a real old man, and he just went down his grandpa's house, and he's telling a joke, a cute story, not a joke, about he went there for Christmas one time, and his grandfather locked himself in the bathroom. And the reason he locked himself in the bathroom is because this guy told his family as a joke that he was going to bring his girlfriend to Christmas, and his girlfriend was black. And it was so chaotic and you know, like whatever, that it made his grandfather go lock himself in the bathroom and refuse to come out and talk to people. And then they had to go convince the grandpa, like, no, he's actually, you know, let's say his name is Howard. It's not. Howard's not really dating no black girl, grandpa. Come out the bathroom. Come on, eat dinner with us. It's not, ha ha. And he's telling me this story, and I'm waiting for the punchline.
Waiting for the punchline.
Because he's telling me like this is the funniest shit that ever happened in the world. And I'm like, what? And like the other white people at the table are kind of like laughing. And I mean, I have a good time. I'm a funny person, but I'm like, what the fuck are y'all laughing at?
Right. Where's the punchline?
What's so funny? That his grandfather is racist? Well, no, I'm not saying, I mean, he's like a little racist, but he's like an older guy. Yeah, he's an old racist. But why would that be endearing to me?
What?
He didn't raise me. He just a racist to me. That's all you've told me. You don't have any other stories about your grandfather. You ain't told me about how he took you fishing. That wasn't cute. You didn't tell me how he told you how to throw. The story you thought was cute to tell was he racist. Ha ha ha. Thank God I wasn't actually dating a black girl. So now it's like, I know you got that in you, that pressure. You when you look at a woman who's black, part of you was like, can't bring her home to grandfather.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, that explains why you probably only gonna date white women or whatever, or you definitely won't date a black one. And I'm supposed to act like that's not a choice you're making. So I say all that to say, like, that's the cost of being in these spaces, and these dudes don't really have the fight in them. Like I was his quote unquote friend. I'm sure he used, you know, oh right, my friend, he's black, I like him. But I remember being like, nah, that shit wasn't cute. It's not funny, and fuck him. And like, I think people really. Because I'm not mincing words, guys. These aren't jokes, I'm telling you. I was like, yeah, fuck your grandpa. And it wasn't like on some revolutionary, like, what we gonna do? It was like, man, that story's not cute. Fuck that dude. Oh, man, you can't say that. Well, he's saying fuck me.
Yes, he is.
I'm not going to the house for Thanksgiving, obviously. Because he would go lock himself in the bathroom. And so, you know me, I make a lot of jokes at that point. I roasted his racist grandfather. I roasted him for having a racist grandfather and all that shit. But yeah, it's not. Anyway, they just can't really understand. Evie says Jon Stewart. Wait, let me see. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I think Evie was the one that said it. Your MAGA relatives, if you want to, but don't preach to me about getting along. Yes, don't preach to me, dog. You don't get to preach to me ever. Because that doesn't happen in my house. Period. And if you're not going to be the kind of person that's willing to be the party pooper, like that, then you can't really be in my company at some point, because I need you to have that in you. That's all. And I expect myself to have it for other folk. You know, if you come to the crib and it's like, here comes some bullshit flying your way, and I just sit there like, hey, man, this grandpa. You know, I get it if you go, man, fuck Rod, man. The nigga he ain't really about that. Sean says, I don't think that we can have flying cars driven by humans. However, everything becomes automated with extreme security to prevent overrides and inter-vehicle communication. It could happen. Unfortunately, I do not see how a system could come about without it being managed by a government program. A government program? Motherfucker, you need to be worried about that shit being done by Elon Musk or something. It would be even worse if one of these just random tech guys got a hold of the shit, let alone the government. This shit ain't happening. That's all I'm saying. And it don't need to happen. Humans already fucked up. We can't drive regular. Now I'm giving you the gravity and a 2-ton stone flying at all times above our heads,
As
that
many-
shit
you're
won't end
right.
well.
Doing math and shit. As many people are bad at math.
Who's gonna be the first person to drunk fly? Don't
Oh,
don't drink and fly.
Yeah, we go. That's gonna be the PSA. Don't drink and fly.
Buddy, you've had a lot. You sure you okay to fly? I'm fine, damn it.
We're gonna have PSAs. Don't forget to put your baby in their helicopter seat if they're
Right.
under a certain amount of weight. It's
Right.
the law.
Totally different meaning than helicopter parents.
Yeah, it does.
YouTube. Damn, cuz shot at this chick 40 times and missed. He should have just pointed at himself. Never mind, he probably would have missed that too. Give his ass life or give her one attempt to hit his ass. LOL. Rhea says, listen, fried ribs are my new go-to, especially living in the Midwest, and turning on the barbecue is not ideal in the winter. DXL22 says, Jon Stewart always seemed like the worst kind of fake reasonable centrist. He would scold Democrats on the show and yuck it up with Republicans. Him pretending to build bridges to common ground with the right while it's clearly so his uncle would pass him the bland ass gravy at Thanksgiving. Now some people are floating him as a candidate for president in 2028. Let's not fall for the banana in the tailpipe, please. Oh, forgive the long post and fire. And this show was fire. The post wasn't that long, and honestly, I would love to see Jon Stewart or any of these people that people think they love try to run for office. I don't think they're going to do it because I don't think they're stupid enough to do it.
Oh, they're not.
But I would love to see them run for office, to no joke, because then they'd have to actually pick some platforms and some issues. And I think Jon Stewart would probably pick the Bernie Sanders route of just,
Agreed.
I'm just criticizing the left at every turn without really putting up a truly different idea. You know, it's Bernie Sanders $15 minimum wage thing, and then when Democrats went, okay, you know what, yeah, $15 minimum wage, it just kind of took the wind out of his sails, because his whole thing was like, this, as long as the Democrats are in opposition to this, then I can say I'm the most left. But when everybody's like, yeah, that sounds right, now, if anything, maybe we should go higher. Well, now what the fuck? What am I so mad about?
Right.
Now I gotta make up a lie. Like, oh, they don't even want to do it. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You won the issue. Now everyone's doing it. Just take credit for the issue. Stop telling us that, you know, the Democrats are still the worst at that point.
Right.
You've influenced them, and now we've gotten a thing. Show us why you should be president.
Agreed.
The girl on the other side of the road says, I know that man went to Starbucks with the gay flag to order Charlie Kirk's drink mint tea with honey and got angry because the workers didn't care and simply wrote Charlie's name without any drama.
Right. That was like, okay, here you go. You're not gonna be mad. I'll burn the flag. I'm gonna take this latte and put it on the flag. They look like, okay, sir, I guess.
Christoph points to the 12:15 mark and says, damn it, I'm at work. I can't play the game. What was the 12:15 mark? Oh, it's a drinking game. Me and the listeners are. Oh, the drinking game when Karen says at the Hornets game.
y'all gonna get tore up then, because y'all know we going to a Hornets game. It's Hornets season, and I am your Hornets correspondent.
5 stars for being the voice of reason as to why we do not have flying cars, says Randy PH. Done. Thank you. Ray Guns Media says, my anger is 1,000 when it comes to these feckless celebrities, pseudo-democrats who try to walk back their anti-democracy opinions after our loss. Charlemagne is the main one trying to tell people that Jon Stewart needs to run for president. He is silly. Heart emojis. Great pod. Yeah, and you know what's crazy about that is, like I said, Charlemagne is another motherfucker that will completely shit on the left when it is a way to get attention. Some of the worst quote unquote campaign PR messes have come from him. It's hot sauce with Hillary Clinton. It's did you smoke weed and listen to Tupac for Kamala Harris. This is a guy who he'd rather suit his own viral purposes for his content than be any sort of person who's beholden to some sort of political morality. So I don't even like people even going on that platform is such a loss to me, because the best case scenario is that you have a interview that ends up with people going, it was boring.
Yep.
That's the best case scenario, is you get a boring interview. And the worst case scenario is you end up with some bullshit that doesn't actually affect anybody or have any concerns with the issues, where people just spend all day arguing over, did you smoke weed or not? Jason says, as someone who still uses whacked open homie, I don't feel qualified to speak on the black slang combo. I do feel that basically your slang is only as good as the rappers in your city. If they're dope, that slang will go national. I do love the idea of your slang being like your passport. People could tell every place you've been by your greeting. I've always been anti-flying car, whose idea was let's turn every car crash into a plane crash.
Right, we're taking it to another level. No, thank you.
The most annoying part about the Jon Stewart thing is he is always chastising Dems for not being fighters. But the main reason they can't be fighters he wants them to be is because their whack ass voters will be like, but don't be mean to my uncle.
Right.
That's the same thing with the Charlemagne. Like, Democrats need to cave. You're gonna immediately turn like Lucy with the football. You will immediately be like,
how dumb
you
is
weak
that?
Feckless bitch motherfuckers, and you wonder why people don't vote for you. And when someone rightfully, if ever, points out, but then you say they should cave, he'll be like, I'm not a Democrat, I don't run for office.
Right.
Like, he's not a political strategist, he's just a guy talking. The dude who shot his girlfriend after cheating on her was wild, but the day after I listened to the episode, I saw the viral clip of Paul Pierce saying that if you want to know if your woman loves you, you need to cheat on her. Apparently this ninja took that gender war gym to the next level. You gotta shoot her in prison, sir. Yeah, we talked about that clip with Paul Pierce on the Balls Deep Sports this week. Man, remember new media? Remember when the athletes were gonna come and show us how sports analysts should be talking about sports, and what we got was a bunch of cheat on your woman while I wear a house coat ass niggas, shades on inside, that kind of shit. Have you ever used a government assistance program? Oh wait, let me check to see if there's any comments on this episode on Spotify. I forgot about that, guys. That's my bad. Which apparently takes a second to load. I see you over the Spotify podcast. Just take your time. 3 comments. Okay, glad I waited. Okay, one needs review. Okay. How do I review it? Publish, unread. All right, I don't know how. All right, I'll figure it out. Okay, but we are combining slang. Baltimore's whole slang setup is both north and south. Also, the South Shorty is mixed everywhere. Kinda, except I would argue that the New York Shorty is different than the down South Shorty.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would argue that it's used differently.
I think it's used differently too.
CC, that politics says that politics till we get mass section flames. Thank you. Thank you. Esme says, hey Rod and Karen, just wanted to pop in and say I actually had an epiphany while listening to your Jon Stewart rant. Whiteness is a straight up cult. Y'all love cult. Y'all love you both. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. It is a cult. You don't need to believe in that.
It's a TM.
Yeah.
Trademark. You don't have to believe in that, man. Like, it's killing us. It's killing us all. Dying of Whiteness is a book. Yes, it is. Missed A Spotify says, yo, dead ass, outside of presenting good content, Rod doesn't strike me as a performance type Stephen A voice. However, that walk down read on Jon Stewart and others like brother, bravo, my brother. Thank you. Bravo. I try not to get into that bag too often, to be honest, man, because I don't want the show to just be rants or people tuning in. I don't want to feel compelled to like perform a rant every time y'all tune in, you know. Right. Like, it's kind of like how the read is the read, but the read means y'all got to do a read, or people gonna be like, what the fuck happened to the show this week? Right, that's the name of the show. Agreed. But man, sometimes like, and sometimes it's Roderick, and sometimes it's me. It's you varies. A lot. Like Karen, it's me. I think Karen, I can see me. Karen goes off all the time, but I try to conserve it for like. Yeah, I try, especially like personalizing stuff. But man, you know, it was funny. I was on Karen Hunter yesterday, and she was talking about how like I should run for office or something, and I was like, I would never do it, and the only reason I really wouldn't do it, I don't think it would be productive, because I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna change how I talk. Right. And I maybe that's pride. Maybe I should. You know, maybe that would be helpful to people, but I mean, there's 3,000 episodes of me talking the way I talk, man. I'm not fitting to get up here and start pulling punches because
the voters' feelings gonna be hurt because I said some shit about whiteness or whatever
that they don't like.
And I already know it's a non-starter. I wouldn't even waste your time. I wouldn't necessarily think a candidate that talked like I talk would be good for America. I'd be like, that motherfucker is
they about to lose.
Gonna make shit way harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, that be me.
But there's this show could be a bigger show. We could talk different. Mm-hmm. You know, we could have a different type of guest on. We can make it a little safer to be kicking it with us, but we don't. And that's the choice we made. So yeah, but anyway, sometimes you gotta let the whole it crystallizes in some moments where it's like, this is my problem with what Jon Stewart's talking about.
Yes.
And I think it's important to have those moments because those type of people like a Jon Stewart, like a Bernie Sanders, they think they have the copyright and the trademark on calling the rest of us out on shit.
Right.
And I'm just saying the street go two ways. You got some shit. Okay, so you don't like some shit about how other people get down. I don't like some shit about your get down. Now what we gonna do? Because we still got to work together. We still on the same side essentially. So I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. But just understand, like, bro, you ain't the only one that looks around you and goes, damn, we ain't all on the same page on this. Mm-hmm. You goddamn right we not.
Right, and I will forever say this. Everybody mad about something. And everybody think their grievances and whatever their complaints is the most important. But they fail to realize it's somebody else that's mad about some other shit that you're not even considering.
Yep. And perhaps it's not a read, but the way you broke down White Boying once again was a digestible examination of how Ezra Klein, Schultz, Rogan, and the lot have been backpedaling and capitulating. Also, you can't spell capitulate without cap, because that's all it is. Hey, I love that. That's a bar. Appreciate that one. Can't spell capitulate without cap. Wow. All right. So the poll, 71% yes have used a government assistance program. 28%, 29% have not. That's our audience, dog. Like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and I wonder what the percentage would be. Not trying to fun if you would have been asked how many people did it and don't know. Like, how many people they
don't know.
Right, they don't know, and you kind of almost want to take them out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
yeah, I mean, the numbers are the numbers, but it's interesting because I read a book, Poorly Misunderstood, and one of the things it covered was how the vast majority of people in America, at least, have been on government assistance at some point. Unfortunately, because of the stereotypes and the stigmas that come with needing government assistance, a lot of parents, and I know anecdotally my experience as a black person, a lot of black parents who needed government assistance hid it from their kids, meaning they were on food stamps, but it was a badge of honor and pride to be like, my kids never seen a food stamp. Like, they never saw me pay for anything with food stamps.
Right.
I don't think you should be shamed into hiding that. I don't think it's any, but that's America's head trip, is that we make poverty a personal failing, and we make prosperity you did that all by yourself. That's how we do it, right? Everybody wants to be a self-made billionaire, and everybody was never poor, or when they were poor or they needed help, it was it was shameful because it meant that I fucked up somehow. I did the wrong thing. So all that to say, you're right. There's a lot of people who've been on government assistance that just don't know. It's just for the poll. There's no way to quantify.
Yeah. For the poll purposes, I understand that. A lot of people, and out of percentage of that people, and I know this is kind of on a tangent. How many people found out after they were grown out the house?
Right.
You know
Possibly.
what I'm saying? You know,
if they ever found out.
Yeah. Some people may have known, like, when they were younger, their parents were just up front with them. But some people, talk to their parents. They was like, "Girl, yeah, I was on food stamps, I was on WIC," and they were like, "What? I didn't know." Type of thing. So they found out, like, as they were older, type of thing. Because, like you say, parents' job is to protect their children, and that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. All right, another break. Speaking of getting money. Dynamic Soul by Infrared Crypto.
I like that.
All right, let's get to the next episode and the last one of the week. 3181, Burious George and the Man in the Red Hat. We had 5 comments.
That red hat.
Janice says, or maybe Janie, hey Rod and Karen, y'all are so right about Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni fallout. I was chilling with one of my best friends from childhood the other day and the controversy casually came up and she literally gave me a whole dissertation on why Blake Lively was a piece of shit and Baldoni was defending himself against her. She is on TikTok a lot and I could tell that's where her info was coming from. When I told you told her I was basing my conclusion on the evidence in the court and the fact that his case got thrown out, and she said she hadn't heard that. After the whole 15 plus minute exchange, I thought, damn, that PR campaign really worked. Because typically my girl would never see a man as the victim, but she was completely convinced Lively was a horrible bitch. Shaking my head. Listen, misogyny, to me, worse than racism.
Because nobody think they're misogynistic.
You find some people that will openly be like, yeah, I'm a racist. Okay, fuck y'all. I don't like those blacks. Almost everybody who is misogynistic, because we're all affected by it, right? We all have it. Almost all of them will tell you to your face, no matter what their point of view is, no, I love women. No. They're staunch feminists who still have some women hating ass shit in they veins. And there's never a woman people aren't willing to believe is secretly just a bitch.
Right.
There's no woman on earth that you don't have to float much for us to go, that woman's a piece of shit. You know, it's crazy to see. And to what the Justin Baldoni thing to me is so crazy because he got caught in 4K literally weaponizing the public relations against her. He got caught in 4K.
The documents are out there.
It's the text messages from the PR firm he hired, and they have literal text messages like, these lies are working even better than we could have planned. Who fucking knew?
Right.
Damn, this was easy. You know, same thing that happened with Amber Heard. It's just motherfuckers just willing to we like men. No matter how bad boy they get, we all got some soft spot for just men. Like, oh, he's a bad boy, but he's so talented or whatever, right? We all want to be cool or around them. You know, we want to be friends with Johnny Depp. But the women, there's a little bit of hate there, especially the ones that seem like they do got it going on. Like there's a thing with women where the more fuckable and sexually attractive they are, the more there's like a latent sort of fuck that bitch. She ain't gonna have that real control over me.
From everybody on all sides, yeah. And a lot of men do that, and a lot of women get jealous.
Yeah, and my argument isn't to paint her as some sort of a saint. My point is, you don't gotta be a saint for what this man did to be wrong. And how many courtrooms have to tell y'all he's actually not telling the truth, or he's afraid to fully lean into the evidentiary findings of this? Accusations come out, get tossed out. This man's getting his ass kicked in court, and it just don't matter because her reputation's already been tarnished.
And that's what's more important.
And the thing is, it's not relevant to the case, but people are using. Right. That's why that TikTok thing was so eye opening. Because if you look at the TikToks, it don't be stuff that's relevant to the case. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp documentary I watched on Netflix was so good. It's 3 parts. It's so good. I really think everyone should watch it. It's so good because they don't just go into who's right, who's wrong, whatever. They go into like the economy around hating, meaning it was so much more lucrative to say anything negative about her in your content than to say anything positive about her or to say anything negative about Johnny Depp.
Yeah, people made a lot of money off of that.
You got more money and attention to say she wasn't shit and to say not even to, keep in mind, not even to say something positive about Johnny Depp, really. Like the incentive structure was shit on Amber Heard, then say something nice about Johnny Depp, then say something mean about Johnny Depp, and then lastly say something positive about Amber Heard. That was the hierarchy of, and when we're fed content, your TikTok, every time you turn it on, it's a little switch in your brain that's looking for that comment, that like, that interaction. All of a sudden your brain starts warping to, man, I ain't getting nowhere with this. Like, hey man, I think Amber Heard is getting a bad deal. No, because don't nobody want to talk to you about that shit.
No traction.
But if you hop on there and be like, Johnny Depp the man, these bitches be lying, and you see that little number go up. Now look, maybe you listen to the sound of my voice, you strong enough, your mind would never warp that way. You would see it and go, morally I feel bad. But there's a lot of people that aren't.
Right.
And a lot of those people, dog, by the end, Johnny Depp was taking pictures of those people, showing up to their podcast and shit. Like, it was, they got rewarded for that incentive structure. And that's more important than the individual man versus woman.
Agreed.
What's the details of the case? Well, maybe they both did shit. And you know, when somebody is in an abusive relationship, the idea that they need to be a Hallmark card perfect victim is fucking us all up. Meaning, if I was in this house abusing Karen, and it comes out Rod is accused of abusing Karen, and I'm able to pull up a video of like, but one time I came in the house and Karen had cut my shoes up with scissors. There are people who will be like, well, look, man, they both bad people.
Yes, they would. Yes, and those things aren't the same, but
right.
Yes.
And so that's what they rely on, because it's never neat, especially these long-term abusive situations. It's never neat, meaning victims could have left, they return sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
People accept the groveling. People do these.
That's a cycle of abuse, yes.
Yeah, we know all the steps, but we have not contextualized them into what they look like and how that makes things blurry.
Right.
It doesn't help that we are dealing with messiness in human beings, and sometimes people do work things out. Sometimes people have toxic relationships that go for years. Sometimes it's both sides. Sometimes it's one side. But the fact that it's almost never in a long-term relationship just 100% abuse all the time, it just does something to people's brains on the outside looking in. Like, well, then it must, clearly that must have been both of them. Because, if you beat somebody for 7 years, how can you say it's bad? Tina Turner fought back, and what's love got to do with it? And that movie doesn't end with some court case or him going to jail. That movie ends with her essentially accepting that I'm not the perfect victim, and this is just my story, and I got to live with, at least I got my freedom. But I'm never going to, this man will not pay any consequence for this, really.
Right. And for most people, they won't.
Because I was on drugs. I was abusive to other people within my life and framework. I hit him back at one point. I'm not a perfect victim, and when you go to court, that gets drug out. And that's enough for most of us sitting at home to be like, I don't know. Sound like Amber Heard was drinking too. Sure, maybe she made some lies up. Who knows? Like, that's how we end up. So anyway, so my point is that PR campaign works, and that I don't think any of these men will ever stop doing it. Because why would you stop? It's that easy. Everybody willing to believe a woman is secretly a bitch. It's just that easy.
Yep, and I feel like that about this case, and particularly if you don't talk about black people, I feel like that about Megan Thee Stallion, and I will forever
Tory
feel like
Lanez.
that about her, because anytime she's in a whole ass different relationship with a whole ass another ass man,
right?
And every time I see her post shit online, somebody in the comments up underneath the tweet, the post, or whatever, it says something about she lying, she a bitch, she don't love him. Another
perfect example of that social media hierarchy.
Yeah, and this in court case shit came out. It was like he was paying, and she was like, he paying people, y'all. Like, this is some bull. Like this,
right.
like, and she said it way before this shit came out. She was like, this don't make no sense. It's a campaign there to get me, and she was right.
Yep, and it just don't seem to matter to people.
It don't.
They still going.
She a lying ass bitch who shot herself. Apparently, the fuck.
They rely on us to want to hate these women. It's so easy,
right?
And once again, listen to the things we're saying. I'm not telling y'all these are perfect people,
right? I'm
not saying it's impossible. Every time you hear accusation, it's true. I'm just saying in these situations, we know the playbook, and it clearly works. Appia says maybe George wants to run himself. I guess talking about George Clooney. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt it. I feel like he's a rich, famous white man, and he'll be fine.
Just fine.
Evie says, I don't believe anything will come of this Heritage Foundation infighting, because as it's been proven time and time again, they will all get on board when it's time to vote people's rights away. Agreed.
Yep.
Kid Rock is trying to hold on to the relevancy so hard for people who don't really care about his music. If his music was so great, why doesn't Dump ever play his music at any event? It's
Agreed.
because it sucks. Kid Rock is the human embodiment of a wet fart. I need Nicki to back away from the yayo. Yeah, cute. Yeah, it's funny. Kid Rock is the human embodiment of a wet fart, and a lot of times, wet fart, that's what you get after you eat steak nuggets from Arby's.
Oh, no.
Sean says, I didn't know using the R word was such a big deal. If someone is being a complete idiot, I tell them, stop being such a Republican all the time. Guess I have to stop saying that now. You know what's so funny is there's a common ground that was there for a lot of these, like, I'm mad that the liberals are policing our language and I feel like I can't say anything. There was a time when people were overcorrecting the speech shit, and speech nerds were really getting into it, and the nerdy nerds were all on Twitter and TikTok and shit. And well, it's actually more as Tumblr back then, not TikTok. But they were all doing this, like, we're going to sanitize every single fucking word. And I remember, I love wordplay and thinking about words, but I remember on our show, like, the big thing I kept saying was, like, the thing everyone keeps running away from by trying to term things different is the stigma.
Yes, it's
not, you're not changing the underlying stigma. What you're doing is you're, like, going into a new room that isn't as stinky as the room you just left, but you're bringing the trash in with you, and it will slowly fill with stink. The new word will be the trash, meaning, so it's like, I always go to this example, right? Coming out of slavery, don't call us the N-word. Okay, which I want to be called. You can call us colored. Okay, cool. Y'all colored people. Cool. Sounds good to me. We'll call you colored. Get your colored ass out of my bathroom and go to the colored bathroom, you colored motherfucker. Whoa. This is even worse than the N-word. Colored. No, don't call me colored. That's racist. You got colored sections. The colors only. No. I'll tell you what. What would you like to be called? Let's go with Negro. Okay? I'm not an N-word. I'm not colored. I'm a Negro. It means black in Spanish. Negro. All right, no problem. Listen, Negro. Whoa, that's not even how you say it. That's not even how you're supposed to say it.
That's not even how you pronounce it.
If y'all don't get y'all niggers, okay, you know what? You clearly can't handle that. You can't handle that. I feel the way you say it. That's
the way you say it.
I don't like the way you saying it. So
intent matters.
Let's go with African American. My people originally from Africa, but I am an American. Other people go Italian American. Let's just go with that. I'm African American. Okay, cool. African American, no problem. Let me ask you this. Why don't you go back to Africa since you're so African American? What? No, this is my country. Go back to where you came from. You said you come from Africa. Okay, clearly this has confused you because that's racist. I'm as American as you are. You know what? Black. I'm black. There we go. It's black. It's a color fashion. You understand that? Black. Black Panthers. Say it loud. Black on my proud. Black pride. Right? Can we just do black? Fine. Yeah, sure. We can do black. I saw two black guys walking down the street, and these black gentlemen made me want to cross the street because you never know. I was going out to walking the store the other day, and I was looking around the neighborhood. I was looking kind of black in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, yeah. Hey, have you met my friend? Have you met my friend John? Okay, yeah, he's a cool guy, man. I'm gonna have him come over now. Listen, he is black, so then as you're running from a stigma. So there was a time where there was common ground in the like, yo, you know what? We're getting really precious about words, but we're not changing shit.
No, we're not.
It's when people make a big deal out of houseless versus homeless. If I'm living on the street and it's 3 degrees, I'm gonna be honest, the vernacular's not. That's
matter.
Not the problem for me.
The problem is that I have nowhere to live.
The city's not doing anything about homelessness or houselessness.
Right, either phrase.
Both ways I promise I could give a fuck.
If I need the assistance, right?
Like it's like I feel like that's the liberal version of let's argue about this because we're not gonna fix the problem. It's like, hey, I live in San Francisco and we have a big homelessness problem. I walked down the street and I saw this homeless guy. Hey, chat. Whoa. We don't say that anymore. What? We don't say, what did I say wrong? He was a homeless gentleman. I stepped over him and he was asking for money. I said no, and then I stepped over him. No, you did the wrong thing there, chat. You stepped over a houseless guy. Okay? You don't give money to the houseless. That's what we do. We're walking right by them, and you just step right over them. Okay? You don't look them in the eye.
You don't pass laws that would give them assistance.
But that's fucked up. You said homeless though, buddy.
Right.
Like that's the level of problem solver we were at on the internet for a moment, where it was just, don't call people stupid. Like, I remember that I was like, you're not gonna make that happen.
No, you're not.
Cause I'm sorry, when sometimes you see a stupid motherfucker and they just stupid, and I don't care about the trauma or the house or what they grown now.
They're adults.
And they acting stupid. I didn't go in your house when you was 6 and call you stupid. You 46 acting stupid. You stupid now. You just stupid.
Right, ain't no more excuses.
Now, if I was talking to a 5-year-old who was like, Mama, what is this? I wouldn't call that kid stupid because I'm fucking a human being.
Right.
But
they're growing and they're learning.
But let's be honest, dog. It's some stupid motherfuckers out here. Don't say idiot. Don't say, so there was a time where I think all these guys who were like, the R word, I want to say it. They had a point where it was like, oh yeah, we're really trying to we're over policing language in a way that's kind of getting ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But you know what you do about that, especially when you're a comedian? You make jokes.
That's what you do.
You make jokes. You find common ground. We all were willing to laugh about it. We'll find a way to go, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you're right. Houseless, homeless. If I'm driving by you at the stoplight, I'm not giving you money. Who gives a fuck what I said? I'm not a good person because I said, no, it's houseless. Like, if you go to the stoplight, you see a guy with a sign, it's like, homeless, need $20, and you go, let me pull out a Sharpie. It's
incorrect. They spelling.
It's houseless. You put homeless on your sign. It's houseless. Okay, can you spell some change? Oh no. Excuse me. No, absolutely not.
In fact, give me my Sharpie back.
Yeah. And 911, can you come? I saw a houseless gentleman. Can you get him off my street? Like, that's America in a nutshell. Trey says, hey, Rod and Karen, on George Clooney, I just want to say fuck him forever. He can go to hell for the amount of charm and cruelty he has unleashed on harm and cruelty. I said charm. Harm and cruelty he has unleashed on innocent people. He is a saboteur of the biggest kind. He is an extremely selfish man who needs to get over himself. Also, what it comes down to me as it relates to Clooney and all the saboteurs on the left is at the end of the day, it just feels like they just didn't like Joe or Kamala in the end, and like that's it.
Agreed.
The saboteurs,
never wanted them, either one of them.
Fucked the whole country because they didn't like Joe or Kamala. Not because he was old or stuttered or had a bad debate or her laugh or how she ran the campaign. They just didn't like either one of them, and that's just insane to me. And that's the undercurrent to all this, bro.
100% agree.
I feel like this validates how I felt, man. Mm-hmm. The results validated it, honestly. Because, the only hang up I had with it was I don't believe y'all.
Right.
I saw the problem. I'm not stupid. I watched the fucking debate, and I came out of that debate feeling very troubled. Not troubled about my vote. I felt troubled about the rest of these folks' vote. It's a group project, and I said, oh, man. They're gonna be like, I don't know if we should run Joe. He was stuttering. He was fucking up in that debate, and he was fucking up. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I feel like I have to be honest. Right. I watched it. Right. I felt the
truth. I didn't. And
I know.
Care,
yeah,
right?
I know. But it's important because
yeah, you actually saw it.
I watched it, and it's different than just the theory of it. You do watch it and go, oh. I felt something in the pit of my stomach, like, oh God, no, this is a bad night. This is a bad. But from that point on, I was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do here?
Right.
Because I'm completely fine still voting for this man. Mm-hmm. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
and it became a like, I don't know, he gonna lose, I don't know, we gotta get someone else in there. Okay, what if it's Kamala? I mean, we can't have a primary. Hey man, we don't got time, and you know we don't got time.
Right.
So
Quit fucking around.
Why are you even talking about it being a primary? Even if you were gonna do a primary, she has the leg up on all the opponents.
And she's the only one that can get access to the money.
Right. She has the leg up on every single opponent, and legally it will be tested by Republicans and go to the Supreme Court if, say, Gretchen Whitmer wins a primary that a slapdash put together, and then she's like, I need money to the access to the funds for Joe Biden. And they're like, no. That's the Kamala Harris Joe Biden campaign fund,
right.
Not the Gretchen Whitmer campaign. You did not run on those funds. You did not raise those funds.
Agreed.
You may not have those funds.
Right.
So we knew that was a quagmire they didn't want to get into.
Right.
And another thing we just need to put out real quick, because this has become an important note of distinction that doesn't ever get brought up. Kamala Harris raised the most money of all time ever for any candidate from that point on, period. That is a fact. So when people try to tell you no one was enthusiastic, she had the most turnout. She had the most volunteers. Fuck you. She was a great candidate. So fuck George Clooney for that, because the idea of like, well, I mean, the problem is, you got to run with Kamala Harris. That I remember he wrote something later to say like, yeah, Kamala Harris, that's what's up. We did the right thing. Shout out to her for standing up. We behind you. And then here you come months later. Well, clearly that was a mistake. Fuck you, bitch.
And my thing about the people that wanted a primary, the other people didn't want a primary. And what's insulting to the other candidates, they knew that it was dumb. So immediately it was like, oh, I'm out. Like immediately all of them withdrew their name. So y'all wanted something that even the candidates was like, I don't want to do this, but y'all kept tossing their names out there like the shit was going to happen.
They knew they would lose at worst. Now they're just a person that lost a primary, and now if they ever want to run for president, they got that loser stink on them.
Oh, and it'd been political suicide.
Right. So you're gonna lose at worst, and at best you win. Right. You fractured some of the Democratic base, because it's like black women will feel 100% betrayed, and should. So you lose that.
I'm trying to fucking skip over us. Yes.
And then lastly, the other part no one talks about. Okay, you could have did that and they still could have lost. Then what?
Right.
So let's say Gavin Newsom.
I would have been extra bad.
Gavin Newsom wins the primary, makes it to the general, loses to Trump. Now what? You know what y'all be doing? George Clooney be doing an interview. Maybe we should have ran Kamala Harris.
Yes.
Maybe we should have kept Joe Biden.
You're not consistent, and that's the problem that I have. You're not consistent, because no matter and even with him saying about Kamala, you're saying it after the fact. Like you said, it's that Monday morning quarterbacking. You're saying after the results are in. Say it with your chest. I would have voted for Joe. I voted for Kamala.
Right.
And the thing is, because whiteness Tim don't care about nobody else. When you turn around and you say skip over her, it's very insulting to people going, if it would have been a white man or even a white woman, would y'all have said this same thing? Would not everybody, but would some of these people be so adamant about not her? That's the problem I have.
He also says the whole world, not just the U.S., is now fucked because you just didn't like these two people. So for all just to say fuck Clooney for life, Rod and Karen, thank you again, Trey. Appreciate you, Trey. I agree with you. I'm gonna be honest. Let's check the comments on. So I fucked up. I somehow hit the record buttons the opposite way than it was supposed to be. And so I ended up only recording the part of the show that was me playing music at the beginning. And none of the actual show.
Oh no!
So
That's
I had
hilarious.
to turn the audio into a still shot video to post on YouTube. So there is no video of this episode if you guys are going to look for it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's hilarious.
So here's the comments that you guys get left on YouTube. An ad, Karen, why would you do this to us? Every ad was about Bernie Sanders. I wish he would sit down. So many ads. I paid not to have ads on YouTube and found this too much. What? I used a program. What was the program? What the fuck was the program? God damn, I can't remember the name of the program I used, but I used a program that turns it into audio. All I do is put the picture up, and it's like download the video. That turns the audio to the video.
Right.
I don't know where any extra ads would have come in. So I guess this happened because we didn't have the video. So maybe they added ads to my video.
Probably because
I don't know.
Probably because it wasn't the standard video. Like if it would have been like your regular video, the commercials probably wouldn't have been.
I just learned something new. Oh, Headliner is the name of the app. I did not know it adds these extra ads in, because I'm not paying for anything premium over there. Maybe you have to pay for some other level to be like, don't put ads in my shit. Or something
through that application, because you normally just go straight through YouTube, and if you pay the extra money, YouTube go like, okay, you don't do commercials,
right?
So I'm not gonna put commercials in there. But when you use something separate, YouTube is like, hey, this is not our shit, so we're gonna throw commercials in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to auto post videos to YouTube. I'm trying to see if it says anything on here about ads, but anyway, I'm sorry guys, I truly didn't know this happened.
Thank you for letting us know. We didn't know.
I guess I'll know next time. Remember, I have to find some other way to turn it
right
in a video, because I don't know how to do that on my own, guys, if I'm being honest with y'all. And I'm sure there's some way, but I'm not that technically savvy with some of these things. So yeah, I guess it must be putting extra ads in. Okay, learn something new.
Thank you for letting us know.
Let's see. I'm very used to seeing y'all's faces. I can't do this. And why are there ads on here? Said the girl on the other side of the road. Oh my, ads on my YouTube Premium. Woo child, the ghetto. Just playing. I still love Ryder Karen, Tipper Life. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. So next time, let me ask y'all YouTubers. Next time, leave comments on this next episode. Would y'all prefer me to, if this happens in the future, just don't even post the audio out there then, since it's gonna possibly be filled with all these extra ads?
Right.
Because I'm okay. Like, I almost didn't put, I was just like, sorry YouTube, I fucked up. It doesn't happen often, obviously, but if it happens again, like, I don't want y'all to have to go through a bunch of extra ads and shit to, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I know sometimes YouTube can get egregious with them
goddamn
ads.
It must.
It does. Sometimes, depend on how it's chopped up and how long it is, because I watch YouTube, you know, a lot, because getting for animation and stuff like that, like to see what's coming out and all that stuff, and sometimes it's like every 5 minutes, sometimes it just varies depend on the thing.
But this sounds like even when people paid for premium, they was getting ads. So I don't think it's something else. I think they added ads to the audio. Do anybody care about what George Clooney think? Hell no, says Peaches Michael. Jason says Nikki supporting. Oh, right. I said the same thing. Let's hear him out at the 1:16:42 mark. What did I say? And a store clerk for making his pizza with no gloves on. Oh yeah. Gotta hear him out. Can't be making a pizza with no gloves. Maybe you gotta shoot somebody. Nikki supporting Trump is unsurprising, says Jason. I think JL says the platform of MAGA is grievance. You'll be hard pressed to find people who feel more aggrieved than old Nikki. With all black MAGA, you can basically make it a game show. Grift or grievance. Rick Ross performing for MAGA is clearly a grift. Where I do disagree is I have no reason to believe Trump wouldn't pardon her predator husband. That's what he do. Maybe, man. I don't know. Like, I was making a joke. Honestly, I wasn't being serious when I was like, he not gonna pardon your husband. I thought that Jason would have understood that I was trying to be funny, but okay. In Nikki's own words, they both motherfucking monsters.
That's hilarious.
If someone wants to say it was a mistake to run Kamala because we truly underestimated how racist and misogynistic the country is, I'll listen to that argument. Anything other than that, you're just talking. Any negative energy directed at any potential 2028 candidate needs to be stomped out, except Stephen A, of course. Stomp him out. That story about the mother who did that monkey with, like, Ricky was wild. You could almost say it was bananas. Cue CSI music. I like that you wrote to cue the CSI music for yourself.
You might as well say, I'll see myself out the room.
Yeah, those monkeys should have split. Part of me wishes it took place in the same country County as the mixed sheriff because the jokes would have been coming. But once I found out she was black, I realized we probably need to keep him far away from any monkey jokes. Come on.
Yeah, we do. We don't want them problems.
JJ Smile says, Rod, I love that you be getting white people mixed up. Gutfield is the comedian, not Waters. No, that's the thing. I'm not mixed up on this. Go look it up. Waters started as a comic. Jesse Waters used to have like these very unfunny segments. And he this before he made his pivot into trying to be like a Tucker Carlson type.
Okay.
But it started with him doing like these pranks and just none of them were funny. It was so bad because honestly those type of punch down jokes are not fun. They're just not funny. And he used to have this thing called Waters World, that he would do some of these like weird ambush interview things, and it just wouldn't work because like the ambush stuff works better with mean people where it's like, hey, do you like Obamacare? No, fuck Obama and fuck Obamacare. Okay, no problem. What about the Affordable Care Act? Well, that sounds good. That's the joke. They didn't know the difference. That and they were being mean and they're hypocritical and we're laughing at them. This shit is like, do you think Black Lives Matter? Well, yes, I actually do. Wrong. What a fucking idiot.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's
it
not
just don't
funny.
hit the same.
No, it don't.
But yeah, he did start. Yeah, like he had a segment that was 9 years ago. It's called Chinatown.
Oh no, that sounds racist.
Yeah,
I know that might. You said that, I was like, oh no, is it difference between him saying Chinatown and the Chinatown in New York? That's different.
Now you're right. Sometimes I do be confusing white people. Actually, in this episode, I'm pretty sure I confused some white people.
You know I did.
But like, let me see if this will show y'all. Is this showing YouTube at all?
Yes.
This? Okay. So this is the segment Chinatown.
Oh, that was New York's Chinatown.
Am I supposed to bow to say hello? Do you know karate?
Yeah, I know.
Hit my hand. Oh, that's the spot. Trump has been beating up on China. How does that make you feel?
She doesn't speak.
No.
Donald Trump.
She doesn't speak English, so they're making fun of her for not speaking English.
Oh no.
This is before he was the guy he rebranded himself as.
Beating up on China at the debate.
So that he's trying to make them look stupid. To be like, look, this Asian person, they too stupid to know. Right. That's how you got to start. So yeah, it's not Gutfield, it's Jesse Waters. I absolutely had this one right. I guess it's been long enough that people forgot or don't know.
But there's 9 years and the way the internet and everything whoops fast. That's ancient history.
Yeah. So, all right, back to the comments.
That's nuts. Did not know that.
But Sharon Stone was in Basic Instinct, not Kim Basinger. I think we got that one fixed, but yeah, I definitely take that. LOL, peak Barbara Howardness from Abbott Elementary. Yeah, for sure. I'll give you that second one for 100%. I got wrong, but Jesse Waters 100% used to be like a comedic prank type of almost guy, and then of course made the transition.
It was like, you know what, this ain't getting enough hits,
which is funny because Gutfield, from my understanding, started out in journalism. Wow. And then became the comedian guy. Did you vote in this election? Was the poll? Oh wait, let me check comments on Spotify as well, and then we'll get to the poll results, which were, I think the question was, did you vote in this election? Let's see. Okay, so we got 4 comments. Let's check these bad boys out. Real talk, fuck George Clooney says soul power. Patrina says, George, this is what happens when you think you know politics. Joe Biden knew that people wanted to replace his VP, but he didn't let that happen.
He did not.
And they still trying to make it his fault too.
But they never wanted her. They never wanted him.
Big Bunny said the fact that Mississippi took care of the disease-ridden monkeys. I love my people. LOL. Where's the CSI music during the monkey puns? I was fighting tears. Another great episode. Adore you guys. Thanks, Big Bunny. And I just didn't do the monkey I mean, I didn't have a plan to hit the CSI music, but I was like, I don't know. Let's get them off as fast as possible. I had some shit to do. Lastly, 99 Dreams I had says, I just realized Nikki's Trump praise is especially disgusting because his administration is bombing boats in the Caribbean and has killed Trini citizens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just blowing people up in the water. It was like, that's a regular ass fisherman. Like the people of the nation is like, hey dog, that's old man Simpson. He actually fishes every day because this is a great time to fish for for the market in the morning. And they like, fuck you in your boat. Boom.
Did you vote in this election? Yes, no, or there wasn't an election for me to vote in this time. 60% said yes, 37% did not have an election to vote in, and 3% said no, they didn't. So shout out to y'all for being such active participants in democracy or wherever you're allowed to vote at.
Yeah, wherever you're allowed
that's
to
huge.
vote.
And I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all doing y'all parts, and I'm glad we have a motivated audience that's putting their thumb on the scales. We're not just talking to the wind.
Right.
All right, let's go to the last segment because we had no voicemails, but we do have a lot of emails.
Psycho
music.
All right. The first one is from Elise, who says, Clooney, I'm going to just leave this right here. He says he doesn't want to address Hunter Biden because he doesn't believe in going backwards and thinks it's not helpful to the Democratic Party. But, yeah, let's revisit the black lady as being the mistake. Shut up, George. All the way to fuck up. Politics till we get mad, and I'm already pissed. Thank you, Lily. Nichelle says, greetings, Rod and Karen. Uncle John Ep 3180. I've been waiting for someone to go off on Jon Stewart. He been on my shit list since I heard about the rift between him and Wyatt Cenac. Every black person remember that. I just think he is getting by making smug faces and observations that anyone can find on Threads or TikTok. I do appreciate what he did for the first responders, but he needs to be term limited like all those folks in Congress. Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting. Because we do make a lot of commentary and jokes about old people needing to give it up.
A lot of people do.
Especially politicians. There's a lot of like, take your old ass and get the fuck out of here. I'm not one of these people. I just want y'all to know.
I'm not. I know if you want it, take it out of my cold old ass hands. Take it.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just not one of these people. It's not even. I just feel like if you can do the job, I don't really give a fuck what your age is.
Agreed.
Do a good job and we can cook. I'm not looking at. I think there are people who are young who are feckless and not worth it and doing bad jobs. And I wouldn't be like, well, at least they're young. I'd be like, they should get the fuck out. They're not doing a good job.
Right.
Period. That's how I feel.
Yep.
And with all these politicians, motherfucker, you can primary them. You can run against them.
Yes, you can.
Tired of y'all complaining and then y'all don't do shit.
Nope.
If you think Nancy Pelosi is the goddamn devil, you should probably go run somebody in her district against her, because votes are votes. Money can't stop the votes. The votes are the votes. If you have enough people, Mom Donnie proved this. That's what y'all should be taking from Mom Donnie, not this. The Democrats. Well, if the Democrats all lined up on the wrong side and they got it wrong, guess who won? Mom Donnie won. Guess who were all endorsing him a week out from the election when they knew he was going to win? Democrats. You can make the Democrats do whatever the fuck you want them to do if you just go vote. I guarantee it. They'll respond to that vote because nobody wants to lose office. So you just be like, hey, nah, we're voting for this guy because we actually want these policies, not the ones you're talking about. And guess what? Next time they'll have those policies. It's Bernie Sanders minimum wage. $15. Sounds good to me. Fuck it. You started with people, well, not 15, maybe 12. And everybody's like, 15, right? Shit. I mean, if Bernie's kicking my ass in those polls, then yes, 15. That easy. Take the issue off the table. Anyway, it's just weird because Jon Stewart's 62. Daily Show's supposed to be a young person's program. Supposed to be. Trevor Noah was doing it for a while. He ends up leaving. You get a cavalcade of younger people who could do this, right? Even Roy Wood Jr. compared to Jon Stewart is younger.
Yes, he is.
I think Roy might be like 45-ish, 47, maybe 42. Like I think he's in his 40s. Let me look up his age. But the point being, like, okay, he's 46. So Roy is 46. Jon Stewart is 62. Where's the Jon Stewart take your old ass home shit? Because this is entertainment, meaning 82 as a politician is old, but 82 as a politician is 62 in entertainment. Like you could give it up. You rich already. You done got everything.
Yeah,
you ain't really adding nothing new to the conversation.
And you only doing it once a week.
You only working once a week.
Right.
But nobody's saying take your old ass home. It's just funny. Anyway, John needs to retire. The Daily Show missed the mark by not giving Roy Wood Jr. or Josh Johnson the job. The fact that they didn't go with a younger person tells you pretty much everything. Zoe writes in from the Backlook Cinema podcast, just as a reminder to us to let people know our 200th we were featured on his 200th episode. The episode was about Star Wars. Backlook Cinema is where we, like him, Zoe and his guest, or sometimes by himself or whatever, they take a look at old movies and break down like how they were made, the behind the scenes stuff. We always have a good time on there. We always end up having to do a lot of reading when we go on there. It's always like, read this, read that. But we always have a good time once we get to just talking about movies. And Star Wars, of course, is what Karen and I, some of our favorite movies.
Yes, it is.
So if you guys want to check that out, you should definitely check it out. It's out this week. It's already out. It's Backlook Cinema. And he sent this letter. Dear Rod and Karen, my 200th episode with you will be released tomorrow. If you could spread the word about this momentous occasion, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for making this episode happen. The both of you really injected much more energy and excitement into the show than I could have possibly done on my own. And you, Rod, in particular, really saved the show using your years of experience and technical know-how to get around the issues that we were having. We were dealing with difficulties that I hadn't even encountered before. Yeah, we had something happen with the recording website he was using.
So we always record on our end as a backup.
And I asked him, I said, do you want me to record on my end just in case? And, you know, I know that always comes off a little weird because, like, people, most of the time, other podcasters will say no.
Right.
And I don't blame. I mean, it happens. I'm at the point now. I've done this so many times, and I'm like, I'm recording this shit.
Right.
But
just in case.
And if someone goes, "Can I record?" Yes, please.
I get
just
as many recordings because, child, you need to back up to the backup to the backup.
Right.
Shit goes down.
Best case scenario, I'd go, we don't need your recording. Everything worked out. Worst case scenario, please send me that recording.
Right. I'd rather have 3 copies than no copies.
So anyway, I recorded it because of all my, experience. And, look, I remember the last time we did the spam report, whatever was happening with the recording, either the site or the equipment, something went wrong and we lost a whole episode. It just we stayed for a couple of hours trying to get it to work and it just couldn't work and it wasn't usable. And I think it never came out. So this is just what podcasting is. If you've been podcasting long enough, you had this happen. Yeah,
you've lost episodes. You've had to re-record episodes. Yeah. One time we had, and this been years ago, because we've been live for a long time. One time, I think it was me, you, and Justin, we actually recorded halfway through the show and was like, oh shit, I'm not recording. So we literally just re-recorded with the live audience and made jokes about the jokes that a lot of people weren't going to get unless you were there live.
Yeah, shout out to the chat room. Thanks for letting me borrow your politics till we get mad segment. That was a lot of fun. Anyways, here's some politics that you can use to promote the show. Some pictures you can use to promote the show if you have time. I look forward to having you back on. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Kim writes in, election day voter suppression in support of what Karen always says, and I always agree with her on. And it was threats targeting polling locations in New Jersey. Yeah, we talked about that Came from Russia, by the way, guys. Stop me. Newsflash. It came out the next day. It was Russian interference. A lot of Russian emails and shit targeting bomb threats. Okay. Welcome to the cookout. Chris writes in, hey Rod and Karen, love the show. Also, no longer emailing you from my Hotmail account. It was giving Nigeria scammer vibes. But I digress. I would like to nominate Lizzie to be invited to the cookout. In fact, she is the cookout. Here's a recommendation. All right, you know what? I'll save it in the cookout folder. We'll take a look at it during the episode where we do the next cookout segment. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of hard to find a lot of candidates right now.
Right now, yeah, it's kind of
The
tough.
cookout folder is running a little dry.
Getting to the bottom of the barrel.
Ever since Target and everyone backed out of DEI, we have a few. Mackenzie Bezos is just circling the block on these motherfuckers at this point. She's just
ain't she double lapping them?
it's a party of one in the cookout.
She was like, "Oh, I'm back again."
She has her own wing, her own building.
Yes, she does.
At the HBCU, she has her own the Mackenzie
You know what
Bezos science wing.
I was just like, "You fucking around? I bet you that bitch gonna have a building after herself."
Right. Elise says,
Mrs. Amazon building.
Lily says, hey Rod and Karen, man, Tuesday night was super dope. For the first time in a year, I went to bed with a smile on my face and woke up the same way. First the governorship in VA, then Jersey, then Zoran. In the words of Martin Payne, woo woo woo. When I found out something I didn't know, there were 3 black women who were running for mayor in Detroit, Albany, the capital of NYS, and Syracuse, and they all fucking won. Charlie Kirk must be rolling, swirling, and twirling in his grave. Laughing my ass off. The cherry on top was Prop 90 in California coming through. Lord of mercy, look at God. Yeah, I thought it was Prop 50, but whatever it is, they gonna get that. They doing that redistricting.
Yeah, and I appreciate the voters actually supporting, because, like you say, when you make big proclamations like that and that shit would have flopped, they would have been on his ass.
And Virginia's redistricting too. They got a plan too. Like. Yeah, all the states need to do it that can do it.
Right.
Fuck it.
And it's one of those things where the Republicans started it. Nobody even would have considered it until y'all was like, bitch, we gonna cheat.
Y'all broke the norms, let's break them back.
Right.
You're not gonna out norm this. You gotta fight back now. I think the last chance we had at just normalization was honestly Joe Biden. I think he was the last desperate gas for a lot of us who were like, maybe if we just can get this country back to, we don't need to constantly be fucking fighting. We have a president who cares about all of us, who wants the best for all of us. Let's just do this. We know the right things to do. And they said they rejected that wholeheartedly. And they said, when we get power, we're going to only use it absolutely totalitarian like. And yeah, okay. Game on, bitch. Let's go.
And there's also, his name is Mondani, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, and also, I don't think they like him because his whole staff, if I'm not mistaken, is all women. And a lot of these women are like targets for the Republicans because a lot of them don't like those women. Like, a lot of those women are like, hey, dawg, I'm going to be on y'all asses. Y'all going to follow the rules. Y'all going to follow the regulations. Like, and it's a lot of brown women, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got all colors women, but it's a lot of brown women, and they don't like. That's why they coming out and just acting the fool, because it's rare that a candidate has an all-female staff, honestly, like the top level. Like not people that report to them, but like the top level. So a lot of them, they don't like him because he brown. They don't like he bringing all these women in there, which means all these men got to listen to these women tell them what the fuck to do when shit happens in the city. And I honestly, I think that's why there's a lot of backlash from a lot of people. And
that's just one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why.
It's a bunch of reasons they don't like that dude.
Why you see, particularly in the media, and like you say, what happens in New York, no, it does not affect us. But because the way the media reports New York, like New York is the only city in the country, you end up hearing about it.
And just when I thought things couldn't get any better, I ran into John Oliver on my way to work, and he was stoked about the election results too. Man, I worked in the same fucking building on the same floor across from John Oliver on the same channel for HBO, and I never seen this nigga not once, y'all. What the fuck? It's like they was never in session when we was in session.
No, they weren't. Y'all would have sessions at different times.
I would have liked to see that dude. I think he a pretty cool guy.
Me
I
too.
fuck with John Oliver.
I do too.
And I don't really see him do a bunch of like, we should be hanging out with Republicans bullshit. He seemed to understand the assignment.
Yes, he does.
We talked for a few and he was awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you both have to say. I'm also hoping that this energy keeps going and grows. Could this be the beginning of politics that make us happy? Peace. Lily from Planet Brooklyn. You know, I was gonna tell you to calm down, but stay excited and enthusiastic. I'm not gonna meet you at that level of enthusiasm yet. I'm not even gonna front. I'm very happy about Tuesday.
Me too.
But I feel like this energy need to keep going.
Yeah, it needs to be consistent.
It need to be sustainable. And I'm worried about people already losing focus and losing the big picture. And I'm also not going to give anybody any credit for changing their mentality, because right now I'm like, I just feel like y'all wanted to push back against all this suffering. I saw the same thing happen during the first Trump, the blue wave. And I was like, yeah, but is it sustainable? And you know what? To that credit, it was sustainable enough. We got Joe Biden 2 years later, but it's only been 1 year. This is off cycle elections. Next year is the midterms. That's going to mean something.
Matters.
And these same white folks, if the Republicans get their way with all this gerrymandering and shit, these same white folks will be super important for them to keep the same energy, because they can flip all this tomorrow. That's how strong it is. If white folks wake up, this shit will go away.
Yes, it's up to them.
It really is that simple. It's not us. You know,
12 to 13% of the population.
Shout out to the biggest grifters in the world, the people that get paid to run polls about will black people vote for Democrats or not. Spoiler alert, yes. And we've never been the ones to drop the ball.
At the highest clip. It's them other POCs you need to be looking at.
It's
Ask
never
them.
us. And before you try to make some type of weird ass distinction like, yeah, I mean the sisters do, but the brothers don't. Okay, so the sisters at 90%, the brothers at 80%, and the brothers are far and away the most supportive men of all of them. So if you're gonna shit on the brothers on this one, just understand that you are just raising the bar so that you can shit on everybody.
Right.
And I'm not supporting that.
I agree.
I don't fuck with them 20% of niggas. Those brothers ain't my brothers.
Not my people.
But and I don't mind giving them the smoke, but don't smoke us all. When 4 out of 5 do the right thing, you don't smoke us all. That's fucked up.
Right.
So let's just keep it real. You got to stay fact based. So I'm with the smoke for everybody that don't contribute to this thing. But the idea of like,
right, because you looking like, nigga, you suffering too, the fuck?
Yeah. So nah, man. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I'm very relieved. But this better be the start of some shit.
That's how I feel, and I will say the same thing. Like I said prior to this election, all that matters to me is results. I don't care how pretty it looks, how ugly it looks. I don't care how discombobulated it looks. All I want is motherfucking results.
Lastly, she says, how are y'all thinking it was Kim Basinger was showing her kitty in Basic Instinct, not remembering she was married to and had a baby with Alec Baldwin? This wasn't just white people news back in the 90s. That was news. The talk about, oh, Lily. You don't understand the segment. White people news now is still news.
Yes, it is.
We made it a segment. I hate to give y'all. I hate doing this.
Behind the scenes.
I hate doing it. I hate explaining the show, because I think the things we doing is clever. I don't think it's that subtle, but maybe it is too subtle. The reason we do a segment called White People News is that to white people it's just news, and to most of us we've accepted that white people news is news. It's just news. We the only show that's like, no, this is not just news. I don't care about this shit. This is what white people care about.
Right.
And until we got diversity of media, it was all people must care about Kim Basinger versus Sharon Stone.
Right.
No, we all don't. So you kind of missed the point. It's still news. People care a lot about Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
Yes, they do.
We don't care that much. We bring it up about once every 2 weeks.
Right.
There's an entire podcast, I'm sure, that just dedicated to like, did Taylor Swift wake up on the left side of the bed or the right side of the bed?
They dedicated to the cause.
Yeah. So no, you missed the point.
That's hilarious.
I'm glad, and I'm proud to not necessarily know. And keep in mind, it's not performative. I'm not doing this on purpose. But it's not my fault when I get white actresses confused. That's Hollywood's fault.
Assembly lines.
For always getting the same type of white woman over and over and over. Nigga, I can't keep up with the new model. It's like an iPhone. If you show me an iPhone 12 and an iPhone 13, far be it from my ass to be like, now that's the 12, that's the 13, that's the 14. I can't tell you. They kind of look the same after a while.
And they got several of them that I've seen them, and I always cross them up because and I've seen them where they've had pictures of them side by side, particularly a white female actress is like, bitch, I still can't tell the difference.
There are 4 Jaime Presleys in Hollywood right now. They aren't all named Jaime Presley, but they Jaime. It's like Margot Robbie, Jaime Presley, and like the 2 other ones. Y'all know them?
Yes, they look the same.
This ain't my fault. I refuse to take any accountability for this. I don't
Put
care.
some diversity in your whiteness.
And did I burn the hole in the videotape, rewinding to the scenes of the leg crossing? Of course I did. I was 14. We've all been there. Okay, I didn't know how to get to the hardcore porn yet. That's not even the sexiest scene in there. It's the one where they had sex up against the wall that I was like, is this consensual? Why is this okay in Hollywood?
Consensual.
Like that's back when white men wrote all the thrillers.
Yes, they did.
Because the sex in them movies used to be like, I don't think that's legal.
Right. This is softcore porn, guys. What are we doing here?
It's like they come in the house. It's like, George, you been cheating on me, slap, bitch. Who the fuck you slapping? Turn around, give me some pussy. Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Right.
What?
Like, this is not how this functions in the real world.
Whose morals are these? I mean,
Right.
maybe it worked like that, but I
don't think so.
I just think that's a huge risky chance. Like if the next scene was him in handcuffs and I was like, yeah, you know that's sexual assault, right? And he's like, yeah, you know, I had to figure that probably you normally don't go 100% from arguing to having sex with handcuffs and shit. That's a good point.
Yeah, just come in the room, bitches leave.
Yeah,
shit like that. Yes.
I remember the one. I forget the one, but it's like Alicia Silverstone. It's like the hot 17, 16, 18-year-old babysitter across the street or something who wants to fuck the 40-year-old man in a failing marriage.
They had a lot of
at all cost, you know, or the one where the woman's like boiling a bunny because you know how hot chicks lose their minds and be like, I'll fucking kill this man's wife and his pets to fuck. It's like white men must have wrote these.
Of course they wrote.
It's like it's the story that sexual assaulters use as their defense in the courtroom that we all know is a lie. But it's like that story where it's like, no man, you gotta understand, she took the Quaaludes herself and then forced herself on me. And you're like, Bill Cosby, I don't think that's how Quaaludes work.
Nope.
Man, you don't understand these bitches, man. Have you ever seen the documentary Basic Instinct? That's what they do.
No, sir. This is not how this works.
But yeah, the talk about her reminded me of the movie 9.5 Weeks, which really cemented her sexy image. She had a relationship with Prince during Batman. She dropped out of a starring role in the movie Boxing Helena. See, you know this white people news. Don't try to act like we don't know this shit. I don't want to know all these deep cuts.
Very detailed.
You was out there reading People magazine
every week. Didn't miss an
Us
episode.
Weekly when they was still print. Boxing Helena, for which she was sued and went into bankruptcy. She played Eminem's mother in 8 Mile and the dead woman in Tom Petty's Last Dance with Mary Jane video. See, I always remember pop culture, but gotta play Jedi mind tricks to remember why I walked in the room. Later, Lily from Brooklyn.
That's hilarious.
Oh, Lily, you love them white folks.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that keep up with that.
You need to start a white people news podcast or something. You know, you got the deep cuts on the white people.
Real deep cuts.
You lost me at after she fucked Prince. I was like, yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't know.
Did not know.
All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back throughout the week. I think this week. Yeah, we'll be back throughout the week. I was about to spoil a guest, but I actually don't think it's still 2 weeks. So let me check the calendar.
Yes.
But we'll be back. Until then, I love you.
I love you too. Mwah.
Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Hope this recorded right.